Everybody wants to talk about dreams. Everyone wants to sit around and imagine a life where they've made it. The cars, the money, the freedom, the success. But here's the truth: dreams mean nothing without action. Nothing. You don't achieve dreams by hoping, you achieve them by discipline, by grinding when nobody's watching, by showing up day after day after day. Even when you're tired, even when you're broken, even when the world tells you to quit, the most powerful way to achieve your dreams isn't magic. It isn't luck. It isn't waiting around. It's W-O-R-K. Ruthless, consistent, disciplined work. That's how you turn dreams into reality. And if you're not ready for that, stop lying to yourself. But if you are, then lock in, because this is how you get it done. Discipline over motivation. That is the foundation. Because motivation is fragile. It comes and goes. One day you wake up and you feel inspired, you feel unstoppable. The next day, that same fire is gone. You're tired, you're drained. And suddenly, the things you said you wanted to achieve don't seem as urgent anymore. That's what motivation does. It plays tricks on you. It convinces you that you're ready when you're not, and it abandons you the moment things get uncomfortable. That's why you cannot build your life on motivation. You cannot build your dreams on something that disappears the second you don't feel like it. What you need is discipline. Discipline doesn't care about how you feel. Discipline doesn't ask if you're tired. Discipline doesn't wait until you're in the mood. Discipline says, get up, do the work, show up, no matter what. When you rely on motivation, you're putting your future in the hands of your emotions, and your emotions are inconsistent, unreliable, weak. But when you rely on discipline, you take control. Discipline is a decision, not a feeling. Discipline is the alarm clock going off at 4:30 in the morning and you getting up without hesitation. Discipline is choosing the gym over the couch, the book over the phone, the grind over the comfort. It's not glamorous and it's not easy, but that's why it works. Because very few people are willing to live with discipline. And the few who do, they separate themselves from everyone else. Motivation whispers to you when conditions are perfect. Discipline shouts at you when conditions are brutal. Motivation says, do it when you feel ready. Discipline says, do it now. That's the difference. And that difference is what determines who actually achieves their dreams and who keeps dreaming. Think about it. Every great achievement in history didn't come from people who were motivated every single day. It came from people who refused to stop. People who woke up and put in the work, whether they wanted to or not. That is discipline. Discipline doesn't just build results, it builds identity. When you live with discipline, you become someone who cannot be broken by excuses. You become someone who no longer negotiates with weakness. You stop asking yourself if you feel like doing it, you just do it. And the more you practice discipline, the stronger it gets. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you build another brick in the foundation of your future. Every rep in the gym when you're tired, every hour of study when your brain wants rest, every early morning when the world is still asleep, those moments forge discipline. And that discipline builds a life that motivation could never sustain. Most people don't understand this. They wait for the perfect spark, the perfect moment of inspiration, the perfect burst of energy. But that moment almost never comes. And if it does, it doesn't last. That's why people quit their goals, abandon their plans, and stay stuck where they are. They think they're failing because they're not motivated enough. But the truth is they don't need more motivation. They need more discipline. They need to take control of themselves and stop letting their emotions decide whether or not they move forward. Discipline is the weapon. Discipline is the shield. Discipline is the difference between wanting and having, between dreaming and achieving, between talking and doing. Discipline over motivation, always. Consistency beats intensity. It's not about what you can do once in a while. It's about what you can do every single day. Anyone can show up once and go hard. Anyone can have one great workout, one productive day, one moment of clarity where they grind at full speed. But that's not what builds greatness. What builds greatness is showing up over and over again, even when it's not exciting, even when the results aren't immediate, even when nobody notices. Consistency is what separates the amateurs from the professionals, the talkers from the doers, the people who almost made it from the people who actually did. Intensity is seductive. It makes you feel powerful in the moment. You push hard, you burn bright, and for a short time, you feel like you're unstoppable. But intensity without consistency burns out. It doesn't last. You can sprint once, but if you don't keep moving forward, you stop. And stopping kills momentum. Consistency doesn't burn out. It doesn't depend on feeling like a hero for one day. Consistency is slow, steady, relentless progress that compounds over time until the results are undeniable. Think about the gym. You can go in one day and train harder than anyone else. You can sweat, push your limits, and leave feeling like you destroyed yourself. But if you don't go back tomorrow, or the next day, or the next week, it doesn't matter. That one day won't transform your body. What will transform your body is going back again and again, stacking up the days, the weeks, the months of work until the results show up. That's consistency. And it's the same in everything: business, relationships, skills, discipline, life. The truth is, consistency is harder than intensity. Intensity asks for effort once. Consistency asks for effort every day. Intensity gives you instant gratification. Consistency gives you long-term transformation, and most people can't handle that. Most people want the quick fix, the shortcut, the overnight success. They want to pour out all their energy in one burst and expect the world to reward them. But the world doesn't work like that. The world rewards the person who keeps showing up day after day while everyone else quits. Consistency builds trust with yourself. Every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you can be counted on. And when you stack those small wins, you build momentum. You don't need to crush everything in one shot. You just need to keep moving forward. Every action compounds. Every step adds up. Every repetition builds the foundation stronger. That's why consistency is the real power. Because while the intense people burn out, the consistent people keep going. And when you keep going long enough, you win. Even the smallest actions, repeated consistently, create massive results over time. Reading 10 pages a day doesn't seem like much, but do it every day for a year, and you've read thousands of pages. Training for 30 minutes a day might not feel like much, but do it every day for a year and your body transforms. Saving a small amount of money doesn't seem like much, but do it every month for years and it grows into something significant. That's the compounding effect of consistency. Intensity is about ego. Consistency is about discipline. Intensity says, look at me, look how hard I'm working right now. Consistency says, I don't need recognition, I just need results. Intensity fades, but consistency endures. Intensity makes noise, but consistency builds legacies. The truth is, anyone can go hard for a moment. Very few can keep going when the excitement is gone, when the energy fades, when the grind feels endless. But those who do are the ones who get to the finish line. Own your time, control your day. Time is the most valuable resource you will ever have, and once it's gone, you don't get it back. Every minute you waste is a minute you'll never see again. That's why the people who achieve their dreams treat time with respect. They don't let it slip through their fingers. They don't hand it over to distractions, and they don't waste it on things that don't move them forward. They take ownership of it. They wake up knowing that every hour is a choice, and every choice either brings them closer to their goals or pushes them further away. Most people drift through their days without control. They wake up late. They check their phone first thing in the morning, and suddenly they're reacting to the world instead of running their own lives. Messages, notifications, obligations, they allow everything and everyone else to dictate their schedule. And at the end of the day, they wonder why they didn't get anything done. The reason is simple. They never owned their time. They handed it over. And when you give away your time, you give away your life. Owning your time starts with discipline. It means setting the tone for your day instead of letting the day set the tone for you. It means having a plan, having priorities and executing them relentlessly. You don't just let the hours unfold randomly. You structure them, you command them, you decide where your focus goes, because focus is everything. Without focus, time slips away into meaningless activities. With focus, even a small amount of time can produce massive progress. You have to learn to protect your time from the things that steal it. Social media, endless scrolling, mindless entertainment, these are traps designed to consume your attention and leave you with nothing. People waste hours every day on distractions and then say they don't have time to chase their dreams. But the truth is, they do. They just choose to spend it in the wrong places. If you want control, you have to cut out the waste. You have to say no to things that don't matter so you can say yes to the things that do. Owning your time also means taking responsibility for it. You can't blame other people for stealing it. You can't blame circumstances. You have to look at yourself and ask, where am I losing time? Where am I letting it leak away? Maybe it's in procrastination. Maybe it's in overthinking. Maybe it's in laziness. Whatever it is, you have to identify it and shut it down. Every wasted hour is an opportunity lost, and every opportunity lost is a piece of your future slipping away. The most successful people in the world don't have more hours than you. They have the same 24. The difference is they own them. They don't let hours go by without purpose. They design their days with intention. They wake up early, they execute on their priorities, and they protect their time like it's gold. Because it is. If you don't control your day will control you. And once your day controls you, your life controls you. That's why the key to building anything, discipline, success, freedom, starts with this simple truth: own your time. Control your day. Sacrifice comfort for progress. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Comfort is where dreams go to die. Because when you're comfortable, you're not pushing yourself. You're not reaching further. You're not testing your limits. You're staying safe. And safe is the opposite of progress. The path to achieving anything meaningful requires sacrifice. And that sacrifice almost always begins with letting go of comfort. Progress demands discomfort. It demands early mornings when your body wants sleep. It demands late nights when your mind is tired. It demands sweat, pain, and exhaustion when every part of you is begging for rest. That's the price. That's the toll you have to pay if you want to move forward. Comfort offers ease right now, but progress offers results later. And the truth is, most people choose the easy way. They choose the couch over the gym, the fast food over the discipline of nutrition, the distraction over the grind. And that choice locks them in place. They trade progress for comfort, and they stay exactly where they are. Every breakthrough in life comes with discomfort. The first time you try to build a new skill, it's uncomfortable. The first time you run, it burns. The first time you step outside your routine, it feels awkward and unnatural. But if you can tolerate that discomfort, if you can embrace it, you grow. The comfort zone never expands on its own. You have to break it, you have to stretch it, you have to sacrifice the ease of staying the same for the pain of becoming more. Comfort whispers lies. It tells you that you've done enough. It tells you to relax, to take it easy, to put things off until tomorrow. It tempts you with instant gratification at the cost of long-term fulfillment. But progress speaks truth. It tells you the work isn't done. It tells you there's more inside you. It tells you that greatness is built in the hours when you want to quit, but don't. That's why you have to choose progress even when it hurts, even when it's uncomfortable, even when everything in you wants to step back instead of forward. Sacrifice is not a punishment. Sacrifice is an investment. Every time you give up comfort, you're trading it for growth. You're trading a moment of ease for a future of strength. You're trading short-term relief for long-term success. That trade is never easy, but it's always worth it. The athlete sacrifices comfort in training so they can win in competition. The entrepreneur sacrifices comfort in long hours so they can build something that lasts. The student sacrifices comfort in study so they can master their craft. Progress doesn't come free. It demands that you give something up. You have to rewire how you think about discomfort. Instead of avoiding it, you seek it. Instead of fearing it, You use it as a sign you're moving in the right direction. Discomfort means you're growing. It means you're putting yourself in positions that challenge you, that stretch you, that change you. Comfort never changes you. It keeps you exactly where you are, trapped in a cycle of easy choices and mediocre results. Progress requires sacrifice because success requires transformation. You cannot transform while clinging to what's easy. You cannot rise while holding on to what's safe. The higher you want to climb, the more you must let go of comfort. The greater your dreams, the greater the discomfort you must endure. That's the trade. That's the cost. And only those willing to pay it will see what they are truly capable of becoming. Execute relentlessly, no excuses. Ideas mean nothing without execution. Dreams stay dreams if they aren't backed by action. Plans, strategies, and intentions are worthless if they never leave your mind. Execution is what turns vision into reality, and not just execution once in a while, not just when conditions are perfect, not just when you feel ready. Relentless execution, day after day, task after task, without hesitation, without negotiation, without excuses. That is how you build momentum. That is how you make progress. That is how you win. Excuses are the poison that kills execution. They creep into your mind disguised as reasons you're tired, you're busy, you don't have enough resources, the timing isn't right. Excuses sound logical, they sound fair, but they are lies. Lies you tell yourself to justify not doing the work. Lies that keep you comfortable while your goals slip further away. When you eliminate excuses, you take away the safety net. You put yourself in a position where action is the only option. That's when things start to change. Relentless execution doesn't wait for inspiration. It doesn't wait for motivation. It doesn't wait for perfect timing. It takes what's in front of you and moves forward step by step until something happens. Sometimes the steps are small, sometimes they're massive, but the size doesn't matter. What matters is that you keep moving, you keep executing, you keep stacking actions until the results begin to show. The world doesn't reward intention, it rewards results, and results come from execution. Think about the difference between people who succeed and people who don't. It's not that successful people have fewer obstacles. It's not that they don't face setbacks. It's that they keep executing anyway. They don't wait until conditions are perfect. They don't let fear or doubt or fatigue stop them. They show up, they put in the work, and they do it relentlessly. Relentless execution also means paying attention to detail. It's not just about doing the bare minimum. It's about doing the work well, doing it with focus, doing it with the intensity that separates you from everyone else. It's about building a reputation with yourself that when you commit, you follow through. That when you start something, you finish it. That when obstacles appear, you push past them instead of backing down. Every time you execute with that level of commitment, you strengthen your discipline and weaken the excuses that try to control you. No excuses means taking full ownership of your actions. If you fail, you don't point fingers. If you fall short, you don't blame circumstances. You look in the mirror and own it, because once you own it, you can fix it. Once you take responsibility, you gain the power to change. Excuses strip you of that power. They hand control over to everything outside of you. But execution puts control back in your hands. Execution says, I will act, I will adapt, I will figure it out no matter what. Relentless execution creates momentum, and momentum creates breakthroughs. The first actions might feel small, but once you build consistency, those actions compound. And when excuses no longer slow you down, when hesitation no longer delays you, you start to move faster than everyone else. You separate yourself. You rise above, because while others talk, you act. While others wait, you execute. While others make excuses, you make progress. Adapt, overcome, and keep moving forward. Life will not go according to plan. The path you set for yourself will never unfold in a straight line. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and unexpected problems that threaten to derail you. That's reality. You can't control every situation, you can't predict every challenge, and you can't eliminate adversity. But you can control how you respond. You can adapt. You can find a way through, around, or over any obstacle that stands in your way. That ability The ability to adapt and keep going is what separates those who achieve from those who quit. Adaptation is about flexibility. It's about adjusting your approach without losing sight of your mission. When circumstances change, you don't throw up your hands and surrender. You analyze, you recalibrate, you look for another way forward. Sometimes the original plan doesn't work, but that doesn't mean the goal is impossible. It just means you need a different strategy, a different angle, a different method. The outcome doesn't change, but the route does. And the faster you adapt, the faster you regain momentum. Overcoming isn't about avoiding difficulty, it's about facing it head on. Obstacles are not signals to stop, they are tests. They are opportunities to prove how badly you want it. Every challenge you conquer makes you stronger, sharper, more resilient. Overcoming builds toughness because it forces you to operate under pressure, to push through discomfort, to endure when quitting would be easier. That's where strength is forged, not in the easy times, but in the battles you fight when everything is stacked against you. Moving forward is the non-negotiable part. No matter what happens, no matter how hard it gets, you don't stop. You don't stand still. You don't wallow in failure or get trapped in frustration. You keep moving forward, even if it's slow, even if it feels like you're crawling. Progress is progress, no matter how small. The moment you stop moving, you lose momentum, and momentum is everything. As long as you're moving forward, you're still in the fight, and as long as you're in the fight, there's still a chance to win. The combination of these three, adapt, overcome, move forward, is what creates resilience. Life will hit you. It will knock you down. It will throw situations at you that you didn't see coming. The weak break under that pressure. The strong bend, but they don't break. They adapt. They adjust their sails when the wind changes. They overcome the storm by holding their ground and refusing to quit. And when the sky's clear, they're further ahead because they never stopped moving. Think about history, about every great leader, warrior, or builder. None of them had a perfect journey. They all faced setbacks. They all dealt with failures, betrayals, and impossible odds. But they adapted, they overcame, and they moved forward. That is why they're remembered. That is why they achieved what others couldn't, because they understood that the mission matters more than the moment. The long-term goal matters more than temporary pain. You will face moments where everything in you wants to quit, where nothing seems to work, where the pressure feels unbearable. Those are the moments where this principle matters most. Adapt to the situation, find another way, change your approach if you have to, overcome the resistance, push through the pain, refuse to accept defeat, and above all, keep moving forward. Because the moment you stop, it's over. But if you keep going, if you keep pushing, if you keep driving forward, no obstacle is permanent and no setback is final.